We're here on campus with Joan West, who's a math major and a Spanish minor. She just came back from a study abroad trip in Toledo, near Madrid, at the Universidad de Castilla-La Mancha. And here she is to answer a few questions about her experience there. Joan, first of all, what made you decide to become a Spanish minor? You're a math major. Why did you decide to become a Spanish minor?
I took Spanish all throughout high school, and I just really enjoyed it the whole time. And I was like, yeah, I want to keep studying this. And one of my favorite things about it is the linguistic side of things, the analytical side of the language. I really enjoyed the phonetics and history class that I took here.
Joan, why do you think that learning foreign language, a second language, is beneficial, especially here in the United States?
I think, practically speaking, it allows you to learn other subjects more easily because it makes connections that you haven't studied before. So it gives you more skills for learning in general, but it also allows you to communicate with people who, if they don't speak English, you can't communicate with them unless you learn their language. So it allows you to meet new people, and that opens up doors to learning about new cultures.
Has it been helpful in any way for you as a math student?
I think that what I was talking about earlier with linguistics is kind of similar to math. It's making connections that maybe aren't obvious, and you have to look for patterns. And that's a big part of math in college, is looking for patterns. So it's some overlap there.
Joan, how important would you say that this study abroad experience was for you as a college student, but also particularly as a learner of Spanish?
So before I went to Spain, I never had too much trouble in my Spanish classes. I understood the grammar and learning the vocabulary, but I never spoke Spanish. If I had to speak Spanish, it was a real struggle. and But when I got to Spain, I had to speak Spanish because it's not one of those places where everyone speaks English and will switch languages for you. You have to speak Spanish over there. And so I got used to speaking. I learned, how to work around the things that I didn't know and when I made mistakes, and just be comfortable with speaking at the same level that I could read and write. And I also learned, to be okay with making mistakes and, accepting those, because you can't talk to people if you don't want to make any mistakes.
Would you say that you learned a lot about the culture while being in Spain?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely did. Because you hear a lot about culture, you can read about it online, but you don't really know it until you experience it and you see it from the perspective of other Spaniards and not just people who go there. It was really fun to see after the soccer games that Spain won, everyone out in the streets celebrating and yelling and waving flags. We don't really do anything like that here. It was pretty cool.
What aspects would you say that you enjoyed the most about studying abroad in Spain at the University of Castilla-La Mancha?
So, I mentioned earlier Spanish culture was fun to see, and especially how the culture was more common than different from here. I was comfortable, traveling by myself and talking to shop owners and waiters at restaurants, but I think my favorite part was all of the people that I met. I had classes with students from all over the world. There was people from China, Korea, Singapore, and just everywhere. And it was really cool to meet people from other cultures, and a lot of them spoke English, and some of them didn't speak English very well, so we had to, all try to communicate in Spanish. And learning about not just Spain, where I was, but everywhere. And I met shop owners too who were from Jordan. There was another couple who owned a shop from Holland, and just talking to all of the people. Our host mom was from Venezuela, and so I got to learn about her culture and the food that she cooks and her thoughts on living in Spain. And it was just really cool to see so many different parts of the world that I've never experienced just by going to one place.
Would you say that your confidence in speaking Spanish grew during the time that you were there?
Yeah, it definitely did. And a big part of it was that I had to speak Spanish, so I didn't really have time to be nervous about it because I was like, well, I have to communicate. So the first day I had trouble with speaking to our host mom, but by the end of it, we were having conversations about politics and about our childhoods and our lives, and just over dinner, and it was really cool.
Joan, would you recommend that other students at the university study abroad in Spain?
Yes, I definitely would. I think just from a practical standpoint, you can get scholarships to pay for a trip to Europe, and that's pretty nice. But also, you can meet people and see so many cultures, and especially Spanish culture, and you're never going to find things like that in the United States. You have to leave to see what Spain is like and to experience that. And if you get the chance to do that, it's definitely worth it.
After taking this trip, are you planning to travel some more and go to other Spanish-speaking countries or travel to other parts of the world?
Yeah, I would really like to go back to Spain. I think after spending a month there, I'm confident that I could do it by myself if I were to go back. And I've always wanted to see different countries in Latin America, and now I know that I can go there and communicate better than I could before. And yeah, I definitely want to travel more if I get the opportunity.